Is it time to raise the age of superannuation? A new book called Child Poverty in New Zealand suggests that raising the age to 16 would help combat child poverty. It's co-written by a guy called Professor Jonathan Boston. It is a fascinating read. And I'll start with you, Richard Prosser. What do you think? Do you think that we should redistribute the income? So we raise the age of retirement to, say, 67 so we can help the most vulnerable of society, which is the young kids. What do you think?
No, that's not going to solve a problem that we've got today. I mean, we're talking about raising the age from 65 to 67 over a period of 20 years. That's not going to solve the problems that we've got right here and right now. And we've got people who are coming up to retirement at age 65, who have paid their taxes, paid into the system, have an expectation that they can realise.
But many other countries around the world are looking at this, and these authors say that it would raise hundreds of millions of dollars a year if we actually redistribute some of the income. What do you think?
Theoretical economists say a lot of things which they never have to stand
Simon
up for.
O'Connor, what do you reckon?
No, look, I don't think it's necessary. I mean, it's akin to basically throwing the elderly on the scrap heap to go after another chosen group. I don't think it's needed. I think the government at the moment actually does the redistribution across all the people who need it, be it young, middle-aged, or old.
So you would keep it at 65?
Yeah, absolutely. The government's committed to keeping it at 65 in a sustainable way. 66% of the average wage.
Even though, Phil, it's a global conversation, what would Labor want to do? Would they want to raise the retirement? Are you looking at that?
Sure, we're going to raise it steadily over a 12-year period so that by the time we get to 2032, the entitlement age will be 67.
And what about focusing it back, like this book says, child poverty in New Zealand? It is so shocking in New Zealand that we need to sort of siphon some of that funds away from the elderly and put it into the youngest.
Well, look, we have in the OECD the lowest rate of poverty for senior citizens of any Western country. There's a reason for that. It's because we have universal superannuation. Right. It's a brilliant policy.
Okay,
we should apply some of that approach, universal benefits, to young kids so we can raise those children out of poverty.
Captain Delahunty, what about a universal benefit for children? What do you reckon?
Well, the Greens have got a lot of policy around child poverty because we think it is the critical issue facing our country, but we don't think it's an either-or with the elderly. The reason why we want to...
So the Greens wouldn't raise or look at
our
raising the...
Our policy at the moment is not to raise the age because Māori and manual workers who die younger than people like myself would end up missing out. We need to stop the tax cuts to the wealthiest people and spend that on child poverty.
Couldn't you create exemptions that make most people retire at the age of 67, like other countries are doing, and create exemptions? What do you think, Simon O'Connor?
Look, exemptions become really messy in that way. You end up having a massive bureaucracy trying to manage it. It becomes an incredible cost. It's just not the way to go.
Are you guys certain that you're doing enough to combat child poverty?
I think we are. I mean, it's been a comprehensive range of policies from day one. You think about even just the most recent budget, $500 million for family and children.
Okay, then what about what about some sort of universality?
Yeah, we're looking at more of a targeted approach at the moment. There are those families which are doing okay, and there are those families which are not.